Hi friends, my name is Sasha.
And I'm Mia.
And this is the Drawing Club podcast.
A weekly show where we chat about art, creativity, life,
and my cats.
And all of this while drawing a new illustration every week.
And you can draw with us. If you do, please share your creations on social media and tag us in your posts.
Welcome to the club, friends.
Welcome back to the Drawing Club podcast.
Welcome, friends. Nice to be here again.
It's a new week, and yes, it's nice to talk to you again. And okay, let's start with what we're drawing.
Yes.
So what are you drawing, Mia?
Well, I'm drawing this. I have this character who was like a recurring character every Halloween season for me for the past few years, and it's this creature with a pumpkin for a head who wears a sweater, like a nice warm sweater, and yeah, it's very cozy. So I'm drawing this pumpkin creature today, and I'm painting with my watercolors, as seems to be what I do now. What about you, Sasha?
Well, I'm continuing this one tattoo flash sheet that I started last week because my last week's drawing, like, I got finished pretty quickly, so then I started drawing these cats, so I'm gonna continue with those today and hopefully finish my cat themed flash.
Cute.
Because nowadays all I draw is tattoo designs.
And what are you drawing with?
I'm just drawing on my iPad. Nice. So I apologize if you hear the little tap sounds of my Apple Pencil. But yeah, that's the sound of me drawing on the iPad.
I think we will deal.
Thank you. Yeah, because also like with tattoo design, sometimes I add this shading and it's like in dots. So I'm just drawing dots. So it's like tap, 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 tap. So if you hear that, that's me drawing some shading.
All right. Good to know.
Yeah. All right. So should we share our little things with the club today?
Yes, let's do it. Do you want to start, Sasha?
What do you... Oh, sure. Well, yeah, it took me a while to figure out what I want to share because not much has happened, but then I remembered one thing that has happened was this one purchase I made that I've been meaning to get for a while, but I bought myself a jigsaw.
Ooh. What are your plans with the jigsaw? Why did you get a jigsaw? What is happening?
Well, I want to build some things from wood. I want to make some things for like my home. I want to build something to host my cat litter boxes because they're not very pretty. So I want to build some kind of a container that looks nice from wood. So I want to make that, and then I want to make some shelves like in our entryway space to store some shoes. And I just have like these little projects here and there, but I wanted to like, because I want to possibly like buy secondhand wood if I can, so then I could cut it to the size I want. And of course, like for cutting like sheets of wood, like a circular saw would be better, but I didn't want to get like, because getting a saw already sounds a bit scary. I've never used a saw, like an electric saw. So I wanted my first saw to be something that can do multiple things. So, but yeah, it took me a while to figure out which one I should get first. And yeah, I got a jigsaw. So I can also basically make, like, the jigsaw is the one that can also make shapes. Like you can basically make like a circle out of wood. But you can also... Nice. You can also cut straight lines.
Yeah, I know nothing about saws.
Yeah. But yeah, like by now I already have my own drill and and a, what is it called? Like a sanding tool, like a electrical sander, and now I have a jigsaw. So I'm building my tools collection so I can eventually make anything.
Wow. Very cool.
So, Mia, what do you want to share with the club today?
Yeah, so I want to, well, you all know that I love dogs. Dogs are like my favorite thing in life, and I'm unfortunately I'm not able to have a dog myself because my partner is allergic, and it makes me really sad sometimes because I grew up with a dog, so I would love to have a dog companion, but hopefully, or I mean, luckily, a lot of my friends have dogs, so I get to interact with dogs every now and then. This year, though, there's been minimal dog interactions, which has been very tough on me. But what I want to share with you is that now that we've moved, I actually live close to a friend who has a dog, the super adorable dog, and we've gone on a few dog walks. I don't know, dog walks. Is that what you call them? And it's been it's been so nice. First of all, it's been really nice to hang out with this friend. I don't know if I even need to. I don't know why I'm keeping them anonymous, but I guess that's what I'm doing now. So it's been really nice to go on walks and hang out with my friend, but also it's been super nice to hang out with a dog friend, and it was super adorable. Just the other week, we took the dog to this dog park, and the dog is so tiny and cute, and she just kept running around in circles in this in this dog park. She was so excited to just be able to run, and I don't know, it made me so happy. So yeah, the point is that I'm super happy to now live close to a dog friend also. So that is bringing me joy these days.
That's so nice.
Yeah, I miss dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't met any.
You haven't missed dogs?
Lately.
No, sorry. Yeah. Dogs are the best.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Well, should we get to our topic?
Yeah, let's stop fuffing about. Let's talk business. No, we're not talking business today. We're talking friendships today.
Yes, we're talking friendships.
Yes.
We had one friendship episode where we played we did this friendship tag, but we thought we could also just talk in general about our experiences with friendship and our thoughts about friendship and what it means to us, and just explore the topic more in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, because also we had some of you asking about finding friends and stuff, so I'm sure a lot of us think about those things, and especially as adults, I think friendship is and not always not always easy.
Yeah.
Or not always obvious. Are not always the same for everyone.
Yeah, that's really true.
But I thought if we could start by saying where do we see each of us sees ourselves on kind of this spectrum of a person with loads of friends to the person who doesn't have any friends. Where do you see on that? I don't know if I made up that it's a spectrum, but
yeah.
but I kind of I at least had thought about it in that way before, so I'm curious.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm someone who and I think I've almost always been a person who doesn't have very many close friends. but I feel like I have a few close friends, and then I know quite a lot of people nowadays, which is kind of surprising to me. But like I feel like, yeah, I'm not super outgoing because I'm like an introvert. I'm kind of shy, but I have like some close friends, but not like a huge friend group or anything. I think, I don't know. Is that kind of what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What about you?
Yeah, I think for me it's quite similar. I only have like a few people who I'm like quite close with, who like I can interact very openly and like, you know, not have to think about how I present myself. Like, I don't know, at least I think that's how I see like the closest friends are the ones I can kind of be myself with and like honest with. But yeah, otherwise like I've never had this experience of like having loads of friends, and maybe I have been a bit insecure about it like when I was younger, but I don't know, I realized that that's how I build like relationships. I put a lot into a relationship, like in terms of like emotionally. I like my relationships to be like close and meaningful, and like I like to spend time with people that I like, and I don't have that much to like spend with everyone. And when it's like, yeah, I don't really I don't know how to be very good friends with loads of people. Like I don't even imagine how that would work.
Yeah, definitely. For me, it feels natural to have like a few close people, and yeah. But has it always? So you said has it always been this way? Have you always kind of had like a small, like a friend? I don't know, like a smaller friend group, or like, I don't know. It's not. I don't know what to say. Like, have you? Yeah. How's it been for you in your life overall? I don't know how to word this question.
I think like as a child, I always had one best friend.
Yeah, same.
And then I had like maybe some friends within, like for example, my best friend was like my classmate. Like someone I sat at the same desk with all the time, and like, and we were like always together at school and always hung out together after school, and like just this one person I'm always together with. But then I also went to music school, and I played at like in a or kind of like an orchestra, and like I was friends with some of the people there because my best friend didn't play in that orchestra, so I did hang out like with some people there more than others, but that would be like only there. Basically, like when we had breaks, I would be hanging out with some people more than others, but like so some of those situational ones. But I think like when I got older, like we kind of like in maybe like when I was a teenager, we already had a bit more of like a group. Like I still had this best friend, but then there were these other two best friends, and then the four of us were friends, like kind of. So then it was kind of more of like a group thing. And also like I grew up in a church, which I'm not part of anymore, but as a child, like I was part of a religious organization, and I had a lot of friends there. Like that that was the only, I think, situation where I felt like I have a large friend group. Because there, like, kind of everyone was, like, all of the people of my age. We were friends with each other, and we would have, like, things we do together. Like, we would go to the movies all together, or, like, we would do fun stuff together. But that's, like, the only time I remember that I would actually have like be part of like this large group of friends. But again, that was like because that was the kind of situation that I was in, that like doesn't come naturally to me. But I guess when when it's kind of like a community like this, where like everybody is friendly with each other,
Yeah.
then it gets more natural to be friends with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it
Yeah.
was like very similar. Like when I was young, I always had like one best friend, and yeah, also like we were in the same class, so we like did everything together. But then there were like a couple other, like one or two other like close friends who we were both like friends with. So it was like this tiny, like this small group of friends, kind of. But I actually had like some very, I think, defining moments, like when it comes to friendship and overall, I think like connecting with other people when I was growing up, because I think when I was a young child, even though I was shy, I was kind of like pretty outgoing, at least like in my classroom. Like I got along with everyone. I was like this outgoing kid in a way. I don't know. Like I guess I was like a popular kid in quotation marks or something. Like I was friendly with everyone.
Yeah.
But then like when I was 13 or something, I kind of started like feeling a bit different. Like I got into like supernatural things, and I was like I was doing like some I got into like Wicca and like some witchcraft stuff. And then I had this like I made friends with this girl who was also like in my class, but she was kind of like, sometimes she was popular, but sometimes like people like didn't like her. So we got into this witch thing together, and we got like very intensely became like best friends. And then like everyone suddenly like shunned me. Like everyone was like, no one wanted to be friends with me, and they would call me names and everything. So I had this total like 180 in like, I don't know, like a half a year. Like like I was friends with everyone, and suddenly I felt like I didn't have any friends. So that was like, that has been like a super defining moment for me. And I think like since then I don't know, it's been very different for me. I've never been outgoing like that ever again. Like that's really I think just affected me super horribly and made it really hard to maybe trust people, because it was like these people were my friends just a moment ago, and suddenly, because it's like I didn't do anything bad, but suddenly because I did something different or was with someone who was like different, it was like everyone kind of turned on me. So then I kind of yeah, that kind of changed everything. And like like before then I it had been very easy for me to have friends and be friendly, but then it kind of changed. But yeah, then I think like as a teenager I kind of found this friend group also, and we were all kind of more or less these outcasts who found each other, and it was like it felt so good to me. And it was kind of even like a big friend group. And like in high school, because we went to the same high school with you, you probably remember like our friend group, kind of.
Yeah.
But it
I
was
wasn't
like
part of it, but yeah, I knew about you people.
yeah. So I was not like I wasn't friends with everyone like one-on-one kind of thing, but we would hang out like together a lot. And then there was like, I think I was like friends with 3 other girls. Like we were like best friends, all 4 of us kind of. And then I think I had like a best friend also. But like, yeah, there was like this very intense like girl gang kind of for like most of my 20s, or like until my mid 20s, I think. So I kind of grew up with that. Yeah. But then, then, yeah, because people, I don't know, like, then there were, I don't know, like, yeah, sometimes friendships are messy, and sometimes something happens, and if there's like a lot of people, kind of, even if not everyone's involved, it kind of affects the whole group. If some people have a falling out or something. So I suddenly, like in my mid-20s, I kind of found myself feeling really lonely, and kind of like, I don't really like this. For the second time, like my friendly safety net had been kind of like ripped from under me, kind of, and I was like, ugh, like I don't feel like I have any, like I did have friends, but I didn't really have people who I felt like, who I really connected with, or who I was like, I felt the similarity with, or that we had the same interests. It was kind of like, I found myself in this really scary place, and I was like really, at that time, I was like really anxious and really not outgoing at all, and I would just go to the university. I never talked to anyone there. I was like, how am I ever gonna find like any friends, or how am I ever gonna meet anyone nice, because it's like I'm too scared to go to places and to talk to people. Like I would never talk to anyone, so I was kind of like lost at that point. Have you ever felt that?
Yeah, I think like when I moved to Finland, I basically like lost like all of my connections. Like I just moved. I mean, my dad lived here, and like his family. But I only met his family when I moved here.
Oh, yeah.
And my dad was like always traveling for work at that time, so I didn't see him that much. So I only had like my dad's family, who I just met, and that's it, and like no one else. Oh. So that was really scary for a while, and I felt really lonely, and I was like 17, so also like at that time like friends are super important, at least like to a lot of people. And but I was talking to a lot of people online back then, and I felt like I have a lot of online friends, like people I've never met, but I was like super active. Like nowadays I do like maybe talk to some people online, like on Instagram. We kind of know each other through like commenting on each other's stuff, but like, you know, none of them are like friendships. But back then I was like really like having a lot of really deep conversations with a lot of people, or like maybe not a lot of people, but with some people online. Yeah, because I guess like that was my only option. Yeah. But I did meet like one person like online who also lived in Helsinki, and we were kind of friends for a while. I mean, we were very different people, but we were both immigrants from the same country, so we had something in common. So I was like friends with her for some time. Like we are not really in contact now, but I guess like at that time I really needed someone who understood me, so it was nice. And then when I started going to school, like to that high school where we both went, then like slowly like I became friends with like a couple people in my class. But that like in the beginning it was pretty scary, and I remember I had like this I was like very anxious a lot of the time, and kind of like in this very like, what am I doing here, like why did I come here? Like I had everything, I had friends, I had family, like, and now I have nothing. I'm just like in this scary place. I don't know anything, I don't know the language. I mean, I'm really like grateful that my dad's family was here. Like my dad's wife is really nice, and like she like helped me a lot, and she like invited me. Like my sister and brother were really small back then. They were maybe like 3 and 4 or something, like they were really young. So she was like taking them to all kinds of fun places all the time, and I came with them like all the time to all these kids things, just because I didn't really have anything else to do, so they were my friends at first.
Oh, that's so nice.
So I mean, I wasn't like completely left alone, but of course like hanging out with like 3 and 4-year-old kids, and your father's wife is not the same as having friends when you're 17.
Yeah.
Yes, even though like she was really nice, she even like told me like, oh, we can talk about anything. I'm not even gonna tell your dad if like you wanna talk about something private. Like, like she was like really nice in that way and kind of tried to like welcome me and stuff. So yeah, but still, of course, yeah, for a while it was really lonely, and I was like really desperate, and I was like meeting some people online that like I wouldn't really be friends. Like I met some people in Helsinki like who I found online, and then I tried to like make friends with them in real life, like hang out, but yeah, like we had nothing in common, and like, but I mean I don't regret it, but like some of those would be a bit weird, and some awkward and weird interactions did happen, but it's fine. Yeah. I
kind of only
but
like
Oh, just like just to also like compare to like this like I never had really like I've never been a lot of friends with a lot of people at school. So even though I was also like called names and like bullied and stuff, I kind of like it never happened suddenly. So I guess in that way, because I had like my best friend and we were always outcasts. So or like somewhat. So at least we had that in common, and we could just like laugh it off between each other. And sometimes like people would bully both of us at the same time, or just like dislike both of us at the same time. So then it was easier in that way. Yeah. So like at least like friends who didn't like me at school, they were never my friend. People who didn't like me at school, they were never my friends.
Yeah.
To begin with. So yeah,
it's interesting because I mean, like, I couldn't even imagine at 17 years old, like, meeting people. I don't know, like, that sounds so scary. Because I mean, and it was really scary when I was, like, in my mid-20s and kind of, like, realizing, like, okay, wow, so I only have, like, 2 friends, and I felt, like, really kind of like I really wanted to find some people who I really connect with, and that we share interests and stuff, but I was like, I'm terrified of new people. I have no idea how to do that at all. But then I didn't have to, thankfully, because I mean, no, this I did eventually have to, but first I met my partner at school, at the university, and through him I met you. So you were like my first kind of like adult, like a friend I made as an adult, I think. And it took us like a few years to work up the courage anyway to kind of start hanging out, just the 2 of us, because we would meet like the 4 of us with your partner and my partner, and that was really nice. But
yeah, well, it took me a few years to get together with my partner, so we're just slow like that. Definitely. Yeah. But I was thinking maybe now, like, it logically, like, I was wondering, like, what do you think, like, because, now we're talking about how, like, slow we were with this, like, how hard do you find it to make friends, like, nowadays as an adult?
That's so hard to answer anyway, because I'm kind of like, how did I even make these friends that I have now? They kind of all came... I mean, of course, I did it in some way, but I think for most of the people, I kind of stumbled, or like we kind of met through someone who I already knew a little bit more, and then we clicked. So I don't think I don't know, that feels almost like cheating. I'm not sure I've like been 100% responsible myself. But I mean, I mean,
I don't think it's cheating. I think that's how it works most of the time.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing. But I'm also like, how do I then But yeah, like I find it really hard because I am quite shy and like I'm nervous to meet new people. But nowadays, unlike a few years ago, like I think I actually enjoy it nowadays because it used to just like only be this anxiety-inducing thing. Like I was just like I won't. Like I was really scared to meet new people. Like kind of, if someone would say like, "Oh, do you want to get a coffee sometime?" Like, you know, as a friends thing, I was like, "Yeah, sure." But then I was like terrified. Like, oh my god, I like if they're gonna suggest it. Like actually, like what am I gonna do? So if I go to this coffee shop with them, I don't know them. Like, what are we gonna talk about? What if it's like awkward? What if there's just silence? Like, what if I can't like say anything? What if I'm just so nervous? Like, it was this. I was so afraid of that. But then, then I just did it once because then one of those times the person was like, "Oh, so does Friday work for you?" or something. I was like, okay. And then it was okay. Like, of course, there were like some silences, but it was like okay. It was like really nice to meet this person. This was actually like a person who I knew in high school, but we haven't really kept in touch. And I like wasn't very close with her in high school. So it was kind of like, you know, there was some familiarity, but I didn't really know her. So it was scary. But then like after that, it was like, okay, so I can do this. Like it's scary for me and I will be nervous and I will be like a bit anxious about it, but I really enjoyed it. So I'm just gonna do this. And I mean,
it's worth it.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I don't do that a lot. I don't like meet new people. I'm not really like that kind of an outgoing person that I kind of seek new people all the time. That's not my comfort zone, except for like when we host our drawing club in Helsinki. That's like a really nice way to meet new people. Because there's already like a common ground and common interest. So like, yeah, like something, that's, I would say is like an easy way or easier way to meet new people is maybe through some kind of a hobby or something that already like connects you maybe. So you're not starting just from like scratch? I don't know.
Yeah, for me that's like the only way that so far that has worked to meet new people is like through having something in common, like through first doing something together just because you were doing this, not like, okay, I want to meet a new person, okay, you're a new person, let's do this together. Like not like that, but more like first do something and just have this person because either you invited a lot of people or you invited them because they do something that like I don't know, like for example I met you through your partner, but I met your partner through music because we used to like organize shows and then we invited him to play a show and then and then somehow we also like had this our like common friends, they organized some like bigger kind of improvisation thing where we all came together and we just like played together and like I think that was the first time we actually met and talked to your partner and then we for some reason we decided to ask him to improvise or did he ask? I don't know. Then we decided to do it just the three of us. Like just to play together because it was fun. I don't know, like something like we just had this hobby, so it wasn't like let's become friends. It was like let's do this together and then we became friends.
And I think you did the same thing like with me. Like the first time we hung out together, you were like, "Do you want to take band photos for us?" So then I took like band photos for you.
Yeah, exactly. Because and it's also like for me it's also easier because I really like sometimes there are people who I think are so nice I would like to be friends with them, but I don't know how to do that. Like you don't just come and like let's be friends. And also I'm really scared to like do this, like let's go for coffee sometime, even though sometimes people ask that from me and I'm like yes let's do that, and if we do that I really enjoy it. Like I do like to meet people one-on-one if they're nice people, even if they're new to me, if they're nice and we have something in common, it's always very nice. Like, I'm really awkward in a bigger group. Like, if we went for coffee with like 5 new people, I'll probably be quiet and like not say anything for most of the time, if like all of these people or most of these people are new to me. But if I'm one-on-one, I'm like, I love it. I really enjoy it if the person is nice. Aww. But I'm never gonna initiate it.
Yeah, no.
And also, even if the person said like, let's go for coffee sometime, I'm gonna be like, yes, let's. But I'm never gonna like, so how about that coffee?
Same.
I'm gonna wait for them to like, and yeah, and then, yeah, but if it's like, do you want to come on our podcast? Or do you want to come and like draw with us for this event? Or do you want to come and play a show? That I can't do, because then there is like a purpose. I ask them because they do this thing, they already play shows, or they already go like do this. And then it makes sense to, like, to me at least. I know that it makes sense to also just invite people for coffee, but somehow, maybe because then it's not about me, but it's about them. Like, do you want to come to this event and present your art? So it's not about meeting me, but then I get to know them, and then sometimes we might like if they are potential friend material, then it might go further. But like, at least that like feels more natural. So yeah, also like I knew Mia takes film photos and they're beautiful, and we need new band photos. So let's ask Mia, because like we know Mia already. So yeah, I feel that has always been like the only way for me that works to like meet people, either like to be in the same environment, like in a classroom environment, or like some kind of group activity environment, or then one-on-one, but kind of like with this project in mind.
I've even like made one friend. This was Ahma. I'm gonna spill our friendship beans, but we made friends. How do you say it? We became friends by being at this party where we didn't know anyone but the person putting up the party, but like she was just going around everywhere. So when I came in, she was just like, okay, you go and talk to this person. So you go and talk to Ahma. And then we were just like, hi, I'm Mia. Hi, I'm Amma. And then we were like, yeah, I don't know anyone here. I'm really nervous. I get anxious in this situation. Like, we just bonded over how like awkward we are socially. But we had that in common, so we became friends. But we talked the whole evening together. It was so nice.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great idea. Like, if you're awkward at a party, and find another person who is awkward at a party. And have some one-on-one party.
Highly recommend it.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. Yeah, I feel like if I'm like at a party where I don't know most people, I will like cling to one person that I know, and I'm gonna try to just talk to them. But then if that person is like comfortable with talking to everyone, they don't want to just talk to me the whole time. So then I feel like annoying, or like I don't know. It also can get awkward. But yeah, I always like, if I'm at a party, I would be the most comfortable if I had like one person to talk to, and that's enough for me. Like, and of course, like if the whole party is my friends, of course that's different. But if it's like, if I don't know the people, I'd rather just meet one of them.
Oh wow! So you're like very strongly like a one-on-one person.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like I mean, I really enjoy like when I know the person, especially. I enjoy that. But yeah, like meeting someone one-on-one versus like if I met a new person with, I don't know, like, I think I'm more, maybe, I like a small group a lot, also.
Yeah, I mean, I like a small group also, like, if I know everyone and I'm comfortable with everyone. Yeah, but for me, one-on-one is always, even if I know people well, one-on-one is the most comfortable for me.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah. because then I can, because maybe it's also like an attention thing, because I sometimes struggle with attention. So when it's several people, it's a little bit difficult for me to like navigate what's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, I manage. I don't like it's not like super impossible, but it's still like it takes a bit more energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I can get very like conscious about like, am I paying the same amount of attention to everyone now, or am I ignoring someone? Is it weird? Do I need to pay more attention to that person? Okay, now am I like being weird? And like I get a bit more self-conscious. But if it's just one person, I can pay all the attention to that person, and I don't need to like overthink it while I'm like
trying to pay attention.
I don't need. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, I want to ask you, I mean, you came up with this question, but I'm going to be the one who asks it. What kind of a friend do you think you are?
Yeah. Let's see. Well, I can say like what kind of a friend I'm trying to be, or like I try to be, because I don't know if I'm successful. Well, I think I'm like a compassionate person, but I feel like I'm not always very good at expressing it. Like I feel like if somebody I care for is like hurting, I feel very strongly about it, and I worry about them, and I think about them all the time, but I'm not like, I don't really express it that much. I'm of course gonna be like, I'm gonna say something, like I'm gonna try to say something nice, but I'm like not always good with words, especially like when I need to comfort someone. At least I feel like I could be better, or some people are better. But I do like feel for people very strongly. But I think like my biggest like friend thing is that I like to like do something to like help people.
Yes, 100%.
And I know
I can attest to this.
Yeah, and it's also like a bit difficult to navigate it, because I also like sometimes I'm gonna take on more than I can handle. And I mean, I feel that it's part of my personality that other people come first before I do. And I think that in one way it's a strength for me. So I don't feel that I used to like maybe sometimes feel like, okay, I need to like change it. I need to come first myself. But then I kind of realized that if I change it completely, then I take part of my personality. Like it's my personality that like if I don't give things to or like something to other people, then it's just like, then I feel discomfort. So I do sometimes need to put others first, because then like I feel, how do you say, like accomplished if I can do something for other people. But also I know that I need to learn to also like sometimes put myself first, because I can't always put other people first, because that hurts me sometimes. So I always struggle to find a balance. So that I also can do this thing that I really like to like, but also I need to put myself first sometimes. Yeah. So that, but yeah, and also because a lot of people I'm friends with are often also like introverted, shy people. Those are people like me.
Yeah.
We are the kind of people who struggle to accept help.
Yeah.
So it's always like, if I feel that someone, like I want to help someone with something, I'm like, please let me know, I want to help. And people are like, yeah, sure, thank you. But then they don't ask for it. And I'm like, come on, I could have helped you. But also I know that I wouldn't accept this help probably either. But then also when people offer me help, I'm like, I need to accept help, because when I offer help and people don't accept it, I hate it, because I want to help them.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But yes, I really like, I think like my love language, like how I express love, is more through action than through like words, because sometimes emotionally I'm like a bit messy. And not always very like, I'm not always good at expressing emotion, but I am good at doing stuff.
Yeah.
So like for me that's easier.
Yeah.
But I also know that some people think that I'm like cold or like not nice or something.
What? Really?
I think so. I mean, maybe.
Oh, That's so weird, though. Like, I could never... I mean, I've never...
Yeah.
No, you're not. It's obvious. You're obviously not. I mean, it's hard for me, of course, to put myself in the shoes of someone who doesn't know you well, but I've never had that. I've never felt that from you.
But I feel like some people in my family, because I'm not always like the person who like says a lot of like sweet stuff and like yeah, I don't know. Like I don't always like tell people I love them like all the time and like stuff like that. I know some people like do that a lot. But yeah, I don't express like very deep emotions a lot.
Yeah.
So I think maybe like compared to like other people, maybe I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, I get it. If it's for someone, it's their way, then it might feel like you know, why is that other person not? If like this is how I know how to do it, then but yeah.
Yeah.
People are different. People express it.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
ways.
And for me, it's like I'm really sorry. Tell me what I can do. Yes, I don't know if I can say the right thing right now, but
yeah, you're very like solution.
Do.
You're like very solution oriented. That's true.
Yes, yes, exactly.
That's
exactly.
True.
Yeah. And I want people to feel better. So, but I want to do something to like, because I don't know if I can say something to make them feel better. But maybe I can do something.
Yeah.
Or to show that I care or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what kind of friend are you?
I think I'm like a... Yeah, so I think like one really big thing for me is I really want people to know that like I am very, maybe like in this sense, I'm very like the opposite of you in the sense that with my words, I don't know, like I feel like I hype people up a lot, or like I'm very direct with like if someone tells me something, like they're doing something new or something, I'm like, oh my god, that's amazing, like I'm so happy for you, I'm so excited, like that's like, I don't know, like I'm very like kind of this overpouring kind of, I get like really excited for people, but if they're like, you know, if there's something nice, but if there's something bad, like I feel like I'm very like empathetic, and I like really try to like convey to people that I kind of feel for them, like whether it's like good thing or bad thing, and I like want people to feel like, I don't know, like understood, or that I I don't know. Like I feel like that's a really big thing. But then like one big issue that I kind of know I have is like when I kind of struggle myself, like one of the first things that kind of goes is like keeping like connected with other people is like sometimes really hard for me to do that, and I'm not very good like always at keeping up communications, and I always feel really bad for that because it has nothing to do with the other person. It's like I'm just too like in my own head and to like just dealing with my own things. But yeah, I think like I would like to think that I'm like a warm oh my god, I feel so nervous talking about this because you're not saying anything back, so I'm like, am I totally
No,
wrong?
I agree. I totally agree. No, I totally agree that you are like, yeah, you are like very good at expressing like you are like very happy for people, and like, yeah, I mean, yes, I agree. You are like that. And it's very nice. Like you are very encouraging. I don't think like I had that experience with anyone, like being that encouraged by like someone.
That makes me so happy because that means a lot to me. I really want to be that person.
Yeah, and it really helps. It's like, it's very important to like have someone like encourage you and be happy for you, and yeah. But I also like I can relate to like being really like I'm usually also really bad at keeping in touch. Like like all my friends who have like who live in other countries or cities, I really struggle keeping in touch with them, because I'm really bad at that. So I need like personal connection to stay friends, otherwise I'm gonna fall out. Usually. So in that way this pandemic has been also really hard, because for me like long distance friendships usually don't work, but I kind of felt like now we have to try to like keep it up, because then I will have zero friendships if I don't keep them up. So but it's like for me it's very not natural to but also when I feel bad I also like am worse. But I feel like with you, for example, because you're so good at expressing like how you feel, I'm like not scared to approach you and ask you to like do stuff. So I even if I'm like, can we hang out? No, I can't today. I'm gonna tomorrow ask you, can we hang out? Like like I don't, because in my case I'm like I'm very afraid to annoy people. So if I ask someone to do something together and then they refuse because they're busy or something, I'm still gonna like internalize it and be like, they don't like me, they don't want to hang out with me, or they'd rather do this other thing, so I don't want to ask again. Maybe next time they can ask. But because you also like know that I have that I always think that people don't like me, so you keep telling me like, I like you. Don't ever forget about it. So it's like it really helps, even though it seems silly. Like of course you know that your friends like you, like but to me like that really helps, because then I know, okay, if I approach you now and you can't like hang out with me for any reason, it doesn't mean that you don't like me. I can still do it again and again, and like and you're not gonna be annoyed because you have told me that so many times.
And I will keep telling you over and over.
So I think like that really helps, because like generally I'm also like pretty bad with like keeping up with people, but it helps when you know like, okay, so first of all to know that like you have a hard time keeping up with people, so it's like, okay, so maybe I can try to force it a little bit if you're struggling. And also like, because you also have expressed that it helps, it's just like not something that you naturally seek, but also that so I don't know where I'm going with this, but but I agree, and it really like it's really nice.
But also like when you like talking about this pandemic, it's really made me realize, because it's been really hard trying to keep connected with friends, and like for the most part it's like until like very recently it's been very hard for me. Like I've mostly just been connected with you like like regularly, but like it's been really like, it's so much harder than in quote unquote normal life, because I feel like this kind of long distance communication just takes up so much more energy, and it's just so different to like seeing each other and hanging out. But what it's made me like realize, like especially lately, because now it's been a long time without like really seeing my friends as I normally would, but there have been like a few times where like in very small groups or one-on-one, like I've gotten to meet some of my friends like who I haven't for a really long time, and it's really made me like really realize how important friendships actually are in my life, in a way that I maybe haven't kind of, I mean, it's not that I haven't realized that they're I don't know how to explain it, but it's like really driven it home, kind of like how much I actually value this time that I get to spend together with these people. So I'm like, I feel like I have this now this new kind of drive to, like, I can't wait to someday be able to hang out like I did, and I'm gonna appreciate the hell out of it when we get to do that again. I mean, thankfully we do, like, here we do get to do that, like, a little bit, but
yeah,
you know, I can't wait to, like, I want to braid your hair or something. Like, I just want to, like, I just want to, like, touch you already.
Oh my god, are you sure you want to braid my hair? My hair is not very easy to braid.
I mean, if you let me, I'll do it. Yes.
Oh, that's so cute. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, definitely that was like one of the hardest things for me, like not being to see my friends like in real life.
Yeah.
And just cause it's like sometimes it's just nice just to like sit there together, like I don't know, just like a presence of another person is like even without the talking is already a thing.
Yes. Yeah.
that is like very nice. So of course we usually like we talk, but I feel like that's like what's missing when you're just like just have video chats, like just that physical presence. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
Yeah. Okay, what are we at time-wise? Should we go to the question?
I think we should take the question, yes. Oh my god, we're getting so carried away. But this is like it's a big topic, so I don't think it's a bad thing, so.
No. I'm not looking at the time, so I was asking from you. I have no idea where we are with the time.
Yeah, let's go to the question.
All right, so Sara Ilustrasao, I'm not sure how to say that correctly, but I hope it's somewhat close. Anyway, they ask, how do you deal with your mental health and getting work done? Love you both.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. We love you too.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you wanna?
Sure, I can
share
try.
Your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about like our mental health struggle in here a lot, and like we kind of talked about this in a way, but like sometimes it's just hard. I feel like, you know, like sometimes I kind of, if I'm feeling really bad, I just have to give myself permission to rest, because I know that work won't be, like I won't be able to work. Or sometimes I have to like give myself permission to be very slow because I'm not feeling good, but I feel like I can do work, but it's just not like, you know, not like at 100% or 80%. So it's like, it's kind of this thing where I have to kind of listen to myself a lot. And yeah, like it can't be this kind of all or nothing thing. Like if I'm feeling bad, it can't always, I can't only do work when I'm feeling 100% good, because like most days are somewhere in between. They're like quite good or they're like kind of crappy. So I'll just like have to find like the way I can work at that time, kind of. So just taking it more easy, maybe like putting on some nice music or like somehow making it like easier to approach. But then, and then sometimes I might be feeling really good, so then it will be easier and I'll maybe get more done. So it's kind of just this thing that is like, has to be considered or like I have to work around constantly, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And yeah, definitely. I think also like it depends on what is the situation of you having to do work. So of course, like in like our case with like freelancing, when like I for example usually just go with my body and my like mental state. Like I will sometimes have days when I do like more work and then days when I do less work, because when you can plan your own schedule, then you can, of course, like plan accordingly. And also, like, some of us can decide to, like, we don't necessarily have to work 8 hours every day, like, if we can't. So basically, sometimes the way I deal with not being able to do work is that I'm not able to do work. So I don't do it because I can't. But of course, there are like times when you have to do work, if like you have a deadline, or you have like somebody paid you already, like, so of course it's like not always possible to just not do work. But I mean, I think like you could maybe find like ways. I think that is also like very personal to like what helps you do work when you can't. So like for me, for example, I think I already mentioned it before, like it really helps to work together with others, like get out of the house, like first of all get out of the house and do that work somewhere else, because then maybe just like getting dressed and like getting yourself ready to go there already kind of like, I don't know, makes you feel a bit more normal or something. But maybe for someone else it could also mean staying at home in your bed and just working there, because you're comfy and you can still be in your sad place but still kind of get something done. So maybe if you're used to like going to the office or going somewhere, you need to give yourself permission to stay in bed today and just work from here. Because also, like, usually I try to get out of bed and work somewhere else, but sometimes I decide I'm just gonna stay in bed and I'm gonna work from here, and that helps me sometimes. So it can be like the opposite, so it depends. But maybe like so maybe giving yourself permission to do something like not the proper way could also work. But also I think making sure you get rest when you need rest is gonna help you do work later when you need to do work. So maybe if you don't have any deadlines or like anything urgent right now, maybe at those times try to not overwork yourself and preserve some energy, like, you know, like the way you put some money like on the savings account, some extra money, like don't spend all of your money, put some of it on the savings, and then maybe when there's some time you don't have money, you can extract it from there. So maybe you can do the same with energy. Like don't use all of your mental or physical or whatever like energy if you don't have to. Like use some of it and then put some work to the next day and preserve some of it, so maybe then when you feel worse, at least you have maybe some energy saved. I know that it doesn't always work like that, but I guess it's very like personal. It depends. But for me it usually helps to get out of the house and work with other people. So then also if I'm feeling really crappy mentally, I can also talk over that, so that can also help. Like we can share with the other person I'm working with how we both are feeling really crappy and we don't want to do anything, but we need to, and then we encourage each other. And maybe I think also asking for help. If somebody can help you with your project, if you have something that is coming up and it's overwhelming you and and you already feel really crappy, maybe someone can help you with it.
That's a good one.
Because I'm sure there are people who will be happy to. Even if you feel guilty asking them to do that, you can try. Maybe it's actually not such a burden as you think that you are.
As you've heard in this episode, people also love to help other people. So.
Yes, exactly. Like, I would be happy if my friends are overworked and they ask me to come and help them, because I'm also like, my friends do really cool work, so I'm happy to participate and also help. So
okay, I guess that's it.
Yes.
Thank you so much
for today's episode.
Thank you so much for listening to us again. And how is your drawing doing, Sasha?
I drew a couple more cats. I still have a little bit of space on this image, so I want to add another small cat.
Yay,
but I'm almost done.
Cats.
Yes.
I love that. Yeah, my little pumpkin person is done.
Yeah. Oh, I love the pants.
Yeah.
They're like these pajama pants.
Yeah.
Like this, holiday pajama pants.
Yeah, with a plaid hatter. Very comfy
Yes.
looking fellow.
Yeah, they look really comfy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and the rest of you, please show us your drawings if you drew. And if you knitted, show us your knittings. And if you embroidered, show us your embroideries. And,
Yes,
and
all
so
your
on.
creations, everything we would love to
Yes.
see. Or if you just
Yes.
listened, feel free to share that as well. We just love to
Yes, of course.
love hearing from you. So
Yes. And send us your questions and topic suggestions. And yeah, we'll talk to you next week.
yes, see you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Drawing Club podcast.
You can follow us on Instagram at Drawing Club Podcast or email us at drawingclubpodcast@gmail.com.
You can also find me, Mia, on Instagram at mia.minerva and on YouTube as Mia Minerva. Sasha, where can we find you?
I'm on Instagram at Sasha_Kretova.
This podcast was created by us, Mia Minerva and Sasha Kretova.
Olli Arni created the theme song and assisted with the recording, and Dmitry Zherbin took care of audio mastering.
Welcome to the club, friends.